by Munyaradzi Musawa Finsli Masara. A woman believed to be in her early 20s was raped and murdered before her body was dumped in a maize field in Askit high-density suburb in Gweru on Saturday. Onlookers at the crime scene in Gweru yesterday. The woman's body was discovered in the wee hours of yesterday by a local resident. It is understood that the woman, who could not be identified, was first raped and stabbed several times all over the body before her body was dumped in the maize field near Askit High School. The Chronicle news crew arrived at the scene at around 9 a.m. and found police conducting investigations while scores of residents were gathered around trying to catch a glimpse of the body. A police source said the woman's undergarments had semen, an indication that she might have been raped before she was murdered. This woman had semen on her underwear. This shows that she must have been raped before she was stabbed. It also looks like she was using a pathway between Askit and Mutasa high-density suburb when the suspect pounced on her. We suspect that she was raped first and was later stabbed to death before her body was dragged into the maize field by the assailant. The suspect is still at large and we are still carrying out investigations, said the police source. Gweru Ward 8 Councillor Willard and Diagutta said the woman's body was discovered yesterday morning without undergarments. He said a plastic bag which had a loaf of bread, a bottle of juice and a picture of an unknown man was near the body. The woman must be 22 years or below because she looks young. Her body was discovered in the morning by a resident who was going about her morning chores. She then informed her neighbors, who then called the police. We could not identify her, which shows that she is not an Askit resident. Her body had deep lacerations indicating that she was stabbed several times. We hope the culprit will be arrested because we are now living in fear, he said. Acting Midlands Police spokesperson, Assistant Inspector Ethel Marquand, could not be reached for comment. Meanwhile, a 19-year-old jilted Bakebridge man allegedly killed his wife, who is also aged 19, in cold blood in the presence of her mother after she decided to end the marriage. Dat Mubzi of Bandura village under Chief Sitordze fled from the scene after committing the crime and is on the run. His wife, Nomsa Moyo, died on the spot after he stabbed her in the chest with a knife after she told him that she wanted to end the marriage. The incident occurred at around 12 noon when they were coming from a counseling session at one of the relatives' home in the same village last Wednesday. The couple allegedly had a history of domestic disputes. National Police spokesperson Chief Superintendent Paul Nyathi confirmed the murder. He said investigations were underway. I can confirm we received a report of a murder case of a 19-year-old woman who was killed by her husband after a marital dispute. Investigations are underway, he said. A relative to the now deceased who spoke on condition of anonymity said the couple had a history of domestic disputes. The couple had an outstanding history of disputes that they were failing to resolve. We constantly counseled them, and on this day, they had gone for counseling. Moyo decided to end their marriage, saying she could not take it anymore and was fed up of their endless disputes. This did not go down with Mubzi, who stormed out of the house before the counseling session was over, said the relative. He said Moyo left a few minutes later in the company of her mother. On the way back home, the pair met a furious Mubzi who attacked them with fists. He wrestled with his wife and then produced a knife and stabbed her twice in the chest. She became unconscious, falling to the ground. Her mother ran to some neighbors close to the scene to seek help, but upon the return, they found Moyo already dead, she said. The Chronicle.